Hey everybody, it's Chris, and for tonight's review we're going to take a look at Latitude64's newest fairway, the Explorer. This is going to be one of Ricky Wysocki's signature discs, and after testing I can definitely see why. It is a 1.8 centimeter fairway, so it puts it in the more traditional speed and width category for fairways. It has a fairly heavy dome, or this one does. The white one that I got was a little bit flatter, but that dome actually curves down into the wing really nicely to make it fit, for me, perfect in the hand. It's not as tall as, say, a River Pro, and it feels just a little bit narrower, or it is a little bit narrower than something like a Convict or a Culverin. But for this video, what are you going to see? You're going to see me throwing it in the field just to get a couple lines out of it. You're going to see me throwing it against a couple discs, and I think I have at least one throw on the course with it, but we'll see if that's true or not later. I also have two test throwers. Brandon Smith, who's a local guy, throws around max of around 350 with long range drivers. He's going to be putting it up against a GL Spark and something else that I don't remember. And then Ryan Rowe is another local guy. He throws similar distance to me, so I think he touched about 425 with the Ballista Pro while we were throwing. But he's going to be comparing it to a Champ Teebird, a modern Champ Teebird, as well as the GL Spark or Convict. I don't remember which one. Anyway, you'll get to see those. You'll get to hear those guys talk about their views on this disc. And then, yeah, I think that's it. So, if you have any questions or comments, put them below. But just a quick hit synopsis. Fairway level, wing, really comfortable in the hand. This disc holds lines really well. A lot of people have said resistant to turn, and I think that's fairly accurate. What I mean by that is, when I throw it with snap, it might turn over just a touch because of off-axis torque, or I just put too much speed on it. But what I've seen pretty frequently is that it corrects itself well and then fades back to center or even left. It's not going to tip out and just keep burning unless I intentionally throw it on a hard anhyzer to get it to do that. Instead, it's going to correct itself on this line and then fade back to center or farther. If I throw it with hyzer, it holds it beautifully. In fact, there's a throw I made off camera where I was like 325 from the camera, and I threw it out wide on a spike, and it came down, and I thought I was going to smash the camera, and ended up about 12 feet left. Really great throw, really scary moment. So, hope you enjoyed the video, hope you learned something. Like I said, please put questions and comments below. I'll get back to you, and the Explorer coming out in February. Thanks. Alright, so out to the field we go. I just want you to be able to see the disc on some lines. Here's about 70%. You'll see the disc just drives forward. That really nice, beautiful, stable finish at the end. Here's 85%. There was a little bit of a headwind during this testing, and you can see it does tilt it just a touch. But for how the wind was there, this was a great flight for this disc. I was very impressed. Here we are. I'm going to throw it intentionally tilted just to see it drift right. And then that stability kicks in and brings it back to center. Nice forehand roller over there by the kid. And then the hyzer line does flip up a little bit more than I was expecting, but again, you can see that nice stable finish. Here we go with our first comparison. The angle is a little bit different on the camera, my apologies for that, but you're going to see both discs just tilt a little bit in this headwind before having a nice, stable, reliable finish to center. Because of the hype surrounding the Explorer, I was asked to compare it to a Teebird. So this is one of the newer models, a little more overstable than the ones I used to throw, but still very controllable. What you're going to see is the Explorer does flip up more, but these discs ended up within 10 feet of each other over left side of the basket. Distance and angle were pretty close. Here we are with the GL Spark. I did miss the line with the Explorer on this one. It's going to be a little farther outside right. But you're going to see the GL Spark, that nice straight line, stability kicks in, finishes left of the basket. The Explorer is going to hold that higher line and then just start drifting. These discs end up actually pretty similar distance left on those different lines. So here are a pair of throws from the field. This first one I release with too much hyzer. It goes way left of the basket, but it's a great example of this disc will hold the line you put it on. And then this next one in the woods, again, I put it too far inside, but you're going to see it fly really straight up through the tunnel before it starts to fade toward the basket. Exactly what I wanted, just too far inside. So here we go with Brandon. You're going to see first the Spark and then the Convict for comparison. The Explorer throw is actually the same throw. You're going to see it go up high into the sky on the right side and then drift down to the left, whereas the Spark was on a lower line, just a more natural hyzer release. But these discs ended up similar areas, with the Explorer being farther out. Then with the Convict, again, similar lines. Actually, the lines were a lot closer. The Convict was just a little lower. Again, similar finishes for the discs. Not exact same spot, but same ballpark for Brandon on these.
What's going on? It's Brandon Smith, PDGA number 94615. Today I'm here with Chris Goodrich doing the Explorer. the prototype by Latitude64. Threw it was real nice and straight with slow fade at the end of it compared to the GL Spark. Threw about the same, actually got a little more distance out of the Explorer. Sidearm, straight with a slight fade at the end. I think it's going to be more of a sidearm disc for me, but it's a really good disc. Threw it in a headwind, it didn't flip, it held its line nice and straight. With the tailwind, it still went nice and straight. There was no crazy turns or deviations in the flight itself. Overall, it's a really good disc. I really like it. Thank you.
I want to thank Ryan for bringing out a Teebird so we could compare them. You can see the Teebird's released just a little more inside than the Explorer here. The Explorer is going to flip up more. It rides up on that high line, ends up pushing past the trees, ended up measuring right around 380 on this throw. Ryan was pretty excited with the distance on that one. For the second comparison, both of these discs are going to get skied up. In fact, the Explorer is going to disappear from the screen because it's going to go into the cut area before fading out. Both discs are going to fade hard just because of the amount of height that was put on them. The throw with the Teebird was a much better comparison.
Hello, my name's Ryan Rowe. I own Disc Crazy Outdoor and More disc golf store in Clarksville, Indiana. Came out here today to do some disc reviews with Chris Goodrich. The first disc we looked at was the Explorer Fairway driver. It has a very straight flight with dependable fade at the end. I feel like it suits my arm speed. I feel like it isn't too overstable. I got a lot of straight flight out of it. I felt it wasn't as sensitive to nose up as a few of the other discs we threw today. We threw Teebirds and Convicts, and I thought it was a very, very usable disc, and it may be in my bag in the future. So that's my take on the Explorer prototype by Latitude64.
As we wrap up, here's one last shot of what I think this disc does so well. 70% power, straight down the gut, a beautiful line with a nice stable finish at the end. The testers all came away impressed with this disc, and I do think it has the potential to be a workhorse for a lot of people on their fairway lineup. If you thought this video was useful or informative, please feel free to like it, share it, put a comment or question so I can get back to you, and as always, thank you so much for watching.